G'day everybody. Just thought I'd give you a little update. It's good news. You may all remember the gem of an individual we know as Caleb Turfrey. Now, he was a police officer over in Waitara. You know, back when, you know, he was assaulting young people at protests.
Caleb Turfrey. Doesn't like being filmed. Look, that kid's doing nothing. He's 14, this kid. Just filming.
Punching them in the head repetitively, or arresting, you know, middle-aged women and not reading their rights.
Please don't you hurt that woman, Caleb. I'm going to put this right where you know where it'll go. What's your last name?
I'm not going to tell you my last name, Paula, but I am going to arrest you for obstruction.
Come here, you guys. Come by your nan. Come by your nan.
If you don't get out of the way, I'm going to
come by your nan, you kids.
Some help here, because I've got police people harassing the shit out of me, man.
You're under arrest.
Why? What for? I'm just walking.
Nothing wrong.
Take my phone, but I keep my phone behind me,
Stop it, she's got sore hands.
I'm okay. Film it. Patricia, help me.
The other cops are,
She's not going to fight you. I don't know why she needs two men.
EH61 and the other one is 190.
Because she's...
Caleb, it's cutting me. Loosen it. Ow, ow, ow.
Do you like hurting old women?
Loosen it.
Do you like hurting old women?
Don't let me go. He's hurting me.
Just draw your attention to me. I can put at least 2 fingers in there. That's perfectly safe.
Caleb, please don't. Ow, 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 ow.
And now they're
He's squeezing me. My hand. Squeezing me with all his might. I'm going to break it. Get my hand to my neck. Phil, he's going to break it. Where are you taking me? Please tell me so you can let me go, please.
No, you're under arrest.
Just let my hand go. Oh, he's going to break it.
Don't leave her alone next
Get my hand. He's going to break it. Get him close.
No, they'll arrest me too.
Don't stop anybody, Caleb. We were filming. This is going to be another assault charge, Caleb. Oh, he's squeezing my hand. My
Look, you're
right hand.
disgusting.
My
You're
right hand. He's
disgusting.
fucking get it, Minnie. Oh! Oh, he's got it.
Oh, you're disgusting. I can see him. I can see it.
Please, it's bleeding. Let me go, please. Oh, let me go. I can't not. Minnie, lift me up. He's going to hurt my arm. Please.
Can you let her get in the car properly?
Travelling at 150k an hour through suburban streets and that sort of thing. And
I know you got it on video.
Yeah, I'm going to record this whole trip, Paula, while we're alone in the
Good, so
car.
you don't rape me again, you disgusting pig. You should have filmed when you were touching my vagina. Oh my God, I'm in that bad. Am I here to do sirens and lights and speeding for a 50-year-old woman?
Yeah, quite frankly, the
You
less
are
amount of time I
speeding,
spend alone
sir.
with you, the better.
You are speeding, sir. You are putting people in danger. What a drama queen. You really are a homosexual. Someone told me you were a drag queen, but I think you're just a drama queen. Certainly a woman basher by the looks of my hands. But you put your siren on, give yourself an erection. If you were scared of me, Caleb, you wouldn't be in the car with me. So turn your siren off. Turn your lights off, princess. If you were really scared of me, you wouldn't be alone in the car with me, sir, and you'd have cages. Turn your siren and your lights off unless you're calling an ambulance like I've asked you to. Twice I've asked you to call an ambulance. I can feel my wrist is broken, sir.
you know, just real top top-notch individual, of course working for the police. Well, it turns out, and I've just been given this information from a source of mine, which I'm quite chuffed with, turns out young Caleb Turfrey is no longer a police officer.
An acting sergeant threw 7 punches in 7 seconds at a man who was backed into the corner of a police cell and not fighting back. Caleb Turfrey claimed it was an attempt to gain compliance. The attack at the Hawera police station in September 2020 only came to an end when another police officer grabbed Turfrey's vest and pulled him off the man. Open Justice reporter Tara Shesky says Turfrey appeared in the Hawera District Court in April.
He was convicted of common assault and fined $1,500 plus court costs.
Caleb Turfrey is no longer a police officer.
7 blows in 7 seconds. Hawera cop off force after bashing gangster in cell. By Tara Shesky. An acting sergeant who threw 7 punches in 7 seconds at a man backed into the corner of a police cell, and not hitting back, claimed the violence was an attempt to gain compliance. The attack at the Hawera police station only ended when another officer grabbed Caleb Barry John Turfrey's vest and pulled him off the man, a gang member arrested for possessing an offensive weapon. Turfrey, who wore non-police issue gloves with hardened thermoplastic plates over the knuckle area during the assault, was convicted in April and fined $1,500. The 36-year-old is no longer a police officer. Former police officer Caleb Barry John Turfrey. Photo/NZME. Turfrey is the 4th officer from Hawera Station, which polices the South Tairaki district and its population of nearly 30,000, to appear before the court in recent times. Sergeant Sandra Shaw, probationary Constable Corey Waite and Constable Craig Logworth were acquitted of manslaughter after the June 2019 death of detainee Alan Ball, 55, in a station cell. Police officers Sandra Shaw, Craig Logworth and Corey Waite were acquitted of manslaughter after a man died while in custody at Hawera police station. Photo/pool. They defended the charge in a 3-week trial in the High Court last year. But while a jury unanimously found they were not criminally liable for Ball's death, the Independent Police Conduct Authority found the officers failed in their duty to care for him. New Zealand police did not respond to questions about the 2 unrelated incidents. I'm not interested in morning headlines newsletter. Please don't show me this again. Central District Commander Superintendent Scott Fraser did say, however, that the behavior of one officer could have an extremely detrimental impact on others who worked each day to make a positive difference. These staff both understand and don't take for granted that we can't do our jobs without the support and trust of those in our local community, Fraser said. The latest incident occurred on September 15, 2020, while Turfrey was on duty in Hawera and an acting sergeant. Court documents obtained by Open Justice detail how Turfrey stopped a vehicle occupied by 3 nomad gang members and a woman about 2 p.m. At the time, 2 of the men were wanted by police in connection to a serious assault. Turfrey spotted weapons in the vehicle and other officers soon arrived to assist and conduct a search. The handcuffed gang members were difficult to manage, yelling gang slogans and walking away from where they were told to stand. One ran off and was apprehended by another officer blocks away, the documents stated. Alan Ball died in a cell at Hawera police station. Photo/supplied. Meanwhile, the nomad who would go on to be assaulted grew aggressive and was eventually arrested. Back at the station, he was calm and compliant as he underwent a compulsory impairment test. But when the result was considered unsatisfactory and the man was told he would have to provide a blood sample, he refused and became agitated. He was taken into a cell where he mocked Turfrey and another officer. After throwing his jersey at Turfrey's face, The man quickly moved towards Turfrey while continuing to insult him. Turfrey pushed the man's face and neck area, before punching him twice in the head. Turfrey pushed his face again and the man began to retreat, but Turfrey delivered another blow. The victim was forced further backward with his back against the cell wall. The victim's hands remained at his side at this point and there was a clear physical separation between the defendant, Turfrey, and the victim, the documents read. But Turfrey continued to advance. He struck the man with an uppercut blow to the head, among other punches that did not connect. The victim was backed into the cell corner and was trying to push the defendant, Turfrey, away with his foot when the second police officer entered the cell and grabbed the back of the defendant's vest and pulled him off and away from the victim. The man assaulted while in custody was a member of the Nomad gang. Photo/file. In total, Turfrey threw 7 blows in about 7 seconds, the court documents said. The man's face was bruised. Turfrey told police his actions were in self-defense and to gain compliance in an effort to search the man. Turfrey declined to comment when approached by Open Justice this week. At his April 22 sentencing this year at Wera District Court, he was convicted of common assault and fined $1,500 plus court costs. Judge Lynn Harrison declined an application for permanent name suppression, saying his case did not meet the high threshold of extreme hardship, and even if it did, she was still required to balance factors such as open justice and public interest. In my view, if I was to go down that track and look at that discretionary assessment, there would be considerable public interest in the public knowing about this prosecution, Judge Harrison said. Police assaulting detainees whilst in custody, in my view, is a legitimate public interest and a debate about force used by the police. The Herald reported last year that investigations into allegations of police using excessive force had grown, with Auckland seeing a 300% increase since 2016. Only a few of the complaints were ever upheld, it was found. Human rights lawyer Tony Ellis said the man assaulted was vulnerable at the time and both Turfrey and New Zealand police had a responsibility to keep him safe, regardless of who he was or his conduct. Part of the basic fundamental laws of the legal system is everyone is equal before the law, he said. Nobody can be beaten up by anyone else, whether they are in the police cells or at home. Ellis said there were additional legal protections for people when detained by the state. What the law requires is that when you're detained you are vulnerable, so international human rights law has developed so you get these additional protections, he said. In a police cell, or in a hospital at a mental health unit or an immigration center or wherever, you are less able to defend yourself than normal and the people who are in charge of you have got this additional responsibility to keep you safe. Without knowing Turfrey's circumstances, Ellis said in his view his sentence sounded somewhat light. Normally penalties for people in that situation would be higher than for the likes of you or I. NZ Police confirmed Turfrey was no longer an employee. The IPCA said he resigned while under criminal and employment investigation. Police had notified its watchdog of the incident but it was referred back to police to investigate with the authorities' oversight, IPCA's Stu Graham said. The assault charge was determined by police and the IPCA agreed with the investigation findings and the outcome.
Now, I know I don't want you getting all upset straight away. I know he was a gem and we all really needed him. But unfortunately, Caleb, you see, was found, well, he was caught smacking a person in custody in a holding cell 7 times in the head with, you know, those hardened gloves they have with the knuckle dusters built in, which are illegal, you know. Remember those things? Well, yeah, he smacked a person that was in custody 7 times in the head, and he was really given the option of resign or look out. And well, needless to say, he resigned.